What's up, Jackson? What's going on today? How's everything doing? How's everything going? How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well today. Everything's good on this end. No problems, you know what I'm saying? On my end, you know, still I'm still learning this scripting thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's going pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It's going pretty good. It's going pretty. The more and more, like I say, the more and more I do it, the more and more curious I get with this computer programming. You know what I'm saying? It's very very. I'm always learning something new. You know what I'm saying? Let me say it like that. I'm always learning something new. It's like you know, um, cause like I said, it's like a video game. Cause when you press enter and it works, you know what I'm saying? You like, oh snap, you know what I'm saying? And then you get a result from it. That's what this whole thing is about for me. I don't know. I guess it's a stimulation for me. You know, to to want to get a result. You know what I'm saying? And isn't that what we all kind of want in life? Is to get that positive result so we can move forward in our lives. You know, I mean, consistently you can make a consistent result in your life. You know what I'm saying? Where you can move forward and you can always there's something that you can always do because you know that what kind of result it's gonna bring to you. You know, that's just like opening up a business. The ultimate result is for you to make money, right? That's the result. The result is for you to sell a product, for you to sell a product, and for them to pay you, and that's the result. That's the result you want. But you have to be able to give. You got to be able to kind of know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing like with the scripting. I got to know how to write these scripts, and when I press enter, I get the result. That's the reward. The reward is like the result is like is like money when you have a business. So, but ultimately, you have to know how. You have to know what is it that you're selling. You know what I'm saying? Who you selling it to? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of moving parts in that when you're selling a product to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Or a service. And you just got to know it on your end. Yo, this like for example, like these headphones, for example. You know, you like somebody sold me these headphones. You know, yeah, you sold me these headphones, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I found value in it. Boom, I changed. I got the headphones. You got the money. You know, that's your business. Well, that's the same thing. But somebody had to manufacture this. They had to manufacture these headphones. They had to figure out how these headphones is gonna work for a person and what type of benefit that the person is gonna get. Because it's gonna be a win-win deal. I'm gonna use these headphones to the best of my ability to use it to help me with this podcast, and you move on. You got your Federal Reserve notes. So that's what it is. But this scripting thing is that's what I talk about when I say about maybe. But see, for me, results for me is not. It has always been like that for me. Always. I've always the type of person. Because, I ain't even gonna front. When I was little, I used to be on the losing end all the time. I used to be that dude, everybody hates Chris. That was me. I swear that was me. When I first saw that movie, that show, man, I said, they took that show right out of my life. When I was little, man, I'm like, everybody hates Chris. Man, please. I'm like, I'm on the losing end. I'm saying, man, I can't win for losing. It was crazy. So, but let me say this: when you start winning, really winning, when you winning to the point to where you can't stop winning. That is the most, and this is not. It's not about money. It's about the fact that you're able to duplicate every time. You're gonna win every time. You're gonna win every time. It ain't rigged. You can't second guess it. You can't. You know that this outcome is going. It's gonna be this. Case in point. I had learned how to send files over from one computer to the next computer. Resident, do you know how long that took me to do? I swear to you. I swear to you. I was I used to make CDs, like, at that time, I used to go into Pirate Bay and download music and all that junk, you know what I'm saying? And I used to make CDs at the time when CDs was out, you know what I'm saying? I was, make CDs for myself and kind of, and I used to download music and stuff like that, all different types of music. But anyway, but when I lost my eyesight, I forgot how to burn CDs. I forgot, just totally forgot. It was new. It was very, very new to me on how to burn CDs. So I sat there one day and I said, I'm going to learn this. I got up about 3 o'clock in the morning and I went in there and I burnt the first CD. I will never forget. It was Tupac's Thug Life. That's the first CD I burned. Being I have no eyesight. And I was like, dang, because I only burned one song, and I just couldn't figure out how to burn all the rest of the songs. So I burned it, and then I said, let me do this again. So I kept burning that one song, and then I started looking around, and boom, it clicked. I was determined. I had the determination that I was gonna burn a CD. But once I got it, that's the result that I'm talking about. The result that you're gonna do it every time, no matter what you do. You know what I'm saying? Just like for me, for example, I'm gonna say it like this. When I started computer engineering school, I wanted to learn how to transfer these files. That's what I was really, going to. I wanted to learn how to transfer files. So I started transfer files. When I was burning CDs, see, all it ties in together. Excuse me, I don't want to kind of confuse things, but when I was burning CDs, I was like, well, I want to learn how to transfer files. You know what I'm saying? That way, I could transfer them over from one computer to the next. And I said, that would be nice. Instead of me, burning the CD or whatever, I can just transfer it over, that kind of thing. So I wanted to learn how to transfer files over. I promise you, I tried everything. And see, at that time, OpenAI wasn't out, with ChatGPT and all that stuff, and and for me as a computer engineer, when I was in computer school, I always wondered if there was something out there like ChatGPT. In my mind, I'm talking about we talking about 9, 10 years old. I'm thinking like that. I wish there was something that I could type into this computer and boom, press enter and get the result that I want. You know what I'm saying? So when ChatGPT came, to no avail, I just kept doing it. Yeah. But I never could figure it out, ever. Never figured it out. I really didn't start figuring out until I want to say, was it last year? Yeah, last year. Yeah, last year 225. Yeah, 25. Yeah, it's 25. Yeah, I figured it out. But learning the SSH for Windows and Linux and all that stuff was totally different for me. You know what I'm saying? So, but once I put it in, press enter, it was on and popping. And see, that's what I'm saying about being consistent and getting a result. See, I was persistent and consistent, but I knew that if I can't try this, I gotta try that. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, for me, I wanted to. I was trying to try different. I was trying different things, but I wasn't getting the result that I needed. And so what I did was I went and I learned how to prompt chat GPT and open it out, and all that stuff. And so I said, let me do it like this. And I went and I started and I read I read the information. I said, okay, so let me try this. And I tried that. I tried it. Boom, it worked. The results. I put the information in. One computer transferred over to the other computer. I said, bingo. You know what I'm saying? And that right there for me was like, it opened up a whole nother Pandora's box with this computer engineering stuff. Because of the results that I wanted to get. And that's, I think for me, that was a long time coming. Real talk. That was a long time coming. But anyway, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to, kind of bring that to you, you know what I'm saying, and talk about that for a minute. Because, man, look, we know it's a lot going on in the city and around the state, around the nation and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But, I just wanted to bring some stuff, you know what I'm saying, kind of like abreast you on what I was doing or whatever, because I'm like, I don't sit around my house twirling my thumbs. I don't sit around. If I'm not talking to you, you know what I'm saying, I'm learning something new. You know what I'm saying? And that's what ain't that what life is about? Trying to add value to your fellow man. You want to add value to yourself so you can add value to others. Ain't that what life is about? So, but anyway, I thought, my plane land. I'm gonna land my plane on that one. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so in today's video, I want to talk about something that I was reviewing that I had been was talking about our mayor, Mr. John Hunt, and how he had been having these behind closed door meetings about these ding dong data centers. Okay. And it seems to me could it be, look, we know that the city needs funds. And we know that they're taking funds from other places and putting them in other places to benefit it, right? So these data centers would definitely be a tax opportunity for the city to come up out of the deficits that it's in, right? But the resident, you, me, us, if we say no, then no is no. part they don't understand. But this is what I tell you. I tell you, I harp on this all the time. They gonna do what they want to do. My last video, I said the same thing. They gonna do what they want to do. You don't think that cat willing and dealing? He ain't willing and dealing. He a businessman too. He gonna make it beneficial to the city. I'm telling you, man, I'm being real. The mayor is gonna make it beneficial to the city. But at what cost? At what cost is he gonna make it beneficial to the city? I'm conflicted with these data centers. I still stand 10 toes down. I don't know anything about them. I just know about the racks, the computer engineering part of things, and how things need to be cooled down. I understand about cooling systems. I'm an HVAC technician. Maybe that's the reason why I became an HVAC technician. But I understand the cooling down process. I understand the reasonings why, you know, when these things get racked up, why they have to have these cooling processes to cool down these networks. It heats up a lot. Those central processing units generates thousands and thousands of heats per second. And it's gotta be ding dong cold in there. We talking about below 32 degrees. Below zero. Just about. You need to go in there with an overcoat. You about need to go in there with an overcoat. Because that's how much heat these central processing units generate. Real talk. And then you got a whole big building. And they all racked up. And you got these central processing units generating all that heat. You gonna have to cool that mess down. I'm talking about off the rip. Matter of fact, you're gonna have to have that building cool down below 32 degrees before you even turn it on. You know how much heat that's gonna generate? And it's all racked up. See, look, I ain't want to hark on this, but I had to. I'm telling y'all what to expect. What's up? I'm telling y'all what's up. A central processing unit inside of just a regular box heats up. That's why on the inside of a computer, you got fans and stuff to cool it down. You even got, in some computers, you got a water system. You got a water cooling system in a lot of these newer computers. I have one. You got to know how to direct airflow. You got to know how to direct that airflow. Because if it's blowing out hot air, that air got to go out. And that cold air just got to blow over it. It's like in and out. Output, input. I'm telling you, it's two fans inside of a computer. The fan that blows it out, it's the fan that blows it, and the other fan that brings the ventilation, and the fan that blows it out. That's why it's ventilation. Sometimes they might have three fans to bring in the cool air, and the other fan blowing it up, and the other fan blowing it out. That's what I'm telling what this data center. I'm trying to get, look, resident. I'm trying to get you through this. them data centers is going to create a lot of heat, a lot. Them central processing units creates a lot of heat, and they have to cool it down. Climate Masters, whoever, I don't know, Comfort Tech, whoever. That's a big contract. They're going to have somebody on standby, just about have a system. They're going to have somebody in close proximity to it. They ain't going to have my black ass. They going to hire my black ass. They're going to have somebody there. That's a fact. That's the look. I'm gonna tell you something. As we talk, I'm saying as we talk, I'm thinking. As we talk, I'm gonna flow with this. I don't know why, but I zone out when I come on this when I get in front of this camera. I zone out because I'm gonna give it to you straight up. If when these data centers go up, there's got to be somebody in close proximity of cooling, air conditioning, refrigeration, cooling company type situation. See, it's going to employ. That's going to have to employ more than one or two people on that side of the fence of cooling the system, keeping that data center cool. It's going to employ jobs. I'm telling you what I'm telling you what all this thing going to entail. Because like I said before, I tell you this, the environment has to be maintained. That environment has to be maintained. When my fan goes off on one of my computers, I know what that is. That means it's not cool enough in my wherever the unit is. And I got to take a fan or something inside the room where the unit is, and I have to blow the fan. But I know when that fan on the inside goes, what it's doing is it's blowing out that hot air that CPU is generating. Did you know you had a fan on your power supply? That generates heat. See, it's factors in this. That's the power supply. The power supplies in those systems has to have what? A cooling system. They're gonna have fans. They gotta have fans to cool this mess down. What type of fans they're gonna have remains to be seen. They're gonna be. They say they got noisy fans. They don't have to have noisy fans. They got fans that's quiet. They got fans that's quiet. Turbines, quiet. But it's gonna generate heat. I can guarantee you that. I'm telling you, resident. But our mayor, willing and doing. See, all of that is going to create everything that I just explained to you. All of that is going to create tax dollars. See, it's not the data center is not just a factor by itself. It's everything that's going to come included with that data center. You're going to have to be you got to have somebody there in mechanics to maintain those racks. You're going to have somebody in mechanics. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. I'm good. I was just checking my my computer because I tapped my computer for a minute. I thought it cut off. But anyway, it's moving parts in this data center thing, and they told him, "Come on." You know they told him what it all is going to be involved. And I'm telling you what's going to be involved, and ain't nobody gave me a phone call. I'm telling you as a computer engineer. I'm trying to educate you here. All of that I just explained plus more is going to create tax dollars. Those companies like Environment Masters, Comfort Tech, and all those, somebody's going to have to be in close proximity to those data centers. That's number one. Then that's going to create tax dollars. Well, those workers got to eat, right? Okay, so now we got to have eateries. Those workers is going to have to live somewhere. Now we got to have lodging, apartments, right? Okay. See what all it's going to entail? It's moving parts in that. It's moving parts. Man, I work over at the data center, bro. I got to make sure that everything is maintained over there. And it's true. You think they're just going to cut up a switch and everything going to be fine? No. They got to maintain that stuff. A computer engineer and a HVAC tech are two different folk. I'm both of them. And that's crazy. Ain't it? That's crazy. I'm both of them. I'm a computer engineer and an HVAC tech. And that's crazy for me. That's like, dang. But I'm telling you what it is. See, I've been an HVAC tech since 2000. I was certified since 2000. So I've been there for almost. I think I got about almost 30 years with HVAC tech. I got about almost 30 years doing that. I know what's up. I know what all this going to entail. I'm telling you, it's a lot of moving parts with this data center. See, our councilman Hartley said Jackson is not ready. What did that really mean? Jackson is not ready. Because he knows the moving parts in this. It ain't just about environmental. Well, it is about environmental. Let me say that. But it's not about the environmental that he was talking. It's not just about the environmental that Hartley was talking about. Hartley was talking about the environmental of getting this thing all set up in the city being prepared to be. He's talking about preparedness. But what I'm saying is the city got to get ready for what everything this data center is going to bring to itself. You're going to have computer engineers. You're going to have mechanic engineers, right? People that rack this stuff. They got to make sure that these things are racked right, right? Then you're going to have folks that's going to come and make sure that they maintain. There's going to be a grid they're going to have to watch. Then you got your, like I said, you got your HVAC technicians. Okay? And all of them is going to have to be in close proximity to these data centers. They're going to have to live in close proximity. You can't expect for them, and it would be real stupid for them to be driving out from Pearl, Madison, wherever, far out, driving rather. You know what I'm saying? For them to drive into the city to come to that data center. I was just looking at Brandon. Their data center's coming on that backside 18. They already said they setting it up, making wheels and deals, and they're gonna have two blown out facilities. Word up. So even right there on that side of 18, do you honestly believe that people are going to be in cars? Nah. People are going to be in close proximity to that data center. You got to be in close proximity to a data center, to something that's dealing with computers, something that's dealing with high intensity heat, because it's unstable. It is unstable. A computer is really, believe it or not, a computer is unstable. Dust may get in it, and you got to maintain it. You got to make sure that everything is flowing like it's supposed to. Somebody's got to be in close proximity to it. And they're going to keep people in close proximity to it. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, they're pushing out a lot of data. They're intaking a lot of data. They got to maintain it. So you know it's unstable. It's going to generate heat. And it's got to be cooled down. That's all it's doing. It's not going to create no pollution. I'm just going to be real with y'all. It's not going to create no pollution. It's just going to create a lot of heat. It's going to be convecting a lot of heat. I'm telling you what it is. Data centers. That's why they got to have people. That's why they got to have the people like environment masters and all these different air conditioning places. That's a hell of a contract. You can't put just one company, a whole crew on that. You got to have somebody dedicated. You're gonna have to. I don't know if they're gonna have a dedicated contract with them, or they're gonna hire somebody that hire somebody to go into those data. But you're gonna have to somebody. It's gonna have to be somebody in close proximity to them data centers. And like I said, it's not going to create no pollution. The only pollution that, the only pollution that I say is probably going to create is the fact that they're using these diesel engines, and they're emitting fumes. That, maybe if they change that technology, whatever the case may be, it's not going to create no pollution. I can guarantee you that. This is going to create a lot of heat that has to be cooled down. You know what I'm saying? But what is heat? Heat is water. It's like water. You know what I'm saying? When the moisture comes inside your house, guess what happens? You know the temperature changes. See, I told you I know about this mess. I told you I got almost 30 years in HVAC. So John Hall wasn't gonna do. He knows all this stuff about what all this stuff going to entail, and like I said, I'm quite sure he's been in more meetings than increases, because the thing is that it would have never been brought up had the mayor didn't bring it to the council, unless the mayor brought it up. But shout out to Tina Clay. Real talk. Shout out to you, Tina Clay. You hear this message? Shout out to you, mama. I totally agree with you. I'm with you. I'm giving understanding about this stuff because I understand what's going on technologically. But if the residents say they don't want it, we gotta find another means on how to get our tax dollars. We gotta find other means to get our tax dollars. But hey, look, it remains to be seen. So I'm gonna lay my plane on that one. You know what I'm saying? I want to go into. I was looking at something earlier. I really didn't I just got the gist of it, but I did. But I'm listening to Chief Brackney. She was talking about. I heard her say that no person, no citizen, should lose their life from a police officer shooting them and killing them. I can remember. I don't remember what it was about, but what I am gonna say is that I want to talk about that thing up there in Saratoga. Was it Saratoga, Mississippi? I might be saying it wrong. Forgive me. where the child was killed because the officer shot inside of the car. Funky ass, you was out of order. And then they said body cams ain't gonna be released until a full investigation is complete. How long that's gonna be? Who you gonna bring in to alter that video? Cause you gonna alter that damn video. Funky ass, you was out of order. I think it's San Antonio. I can't pronounce it correctly. Saratoga. I'm butchering the name. I'm butchering it. But for real, funky ass. For real, funky ass cops. Not all police officers. Please don't mark me as a villain. I don't mean all cops to be jerks. Just the ones that are. He shot inside of a car. Regardless if he identified himself or not. If that car kept it moving, it kept it moving. But you killed a 1-year-old child that hadn't even started their life. What the hell is going on here in Mississippi with killing our children? Was that planned? I'm sorry, that's the conspiracy theorist in me. Because it seems to me that I don't believe in coincidences. That kid was killed, the 2-year-old kid was killed, and then a woman, somebody was shooting at a woman. Woman got shot trying to protect her child. Driving home from wherever she was driving to, and they followed her home. If they followed her home, then they were shooting in the side where her child was. Was it that they were trying to kill her kid? And coincidentally, which I don't believe in, they're all black males. I don't know. That's the conspiracy theorist in me. Forgive me. But you should never lose a resident, a citizen, whichever way you want to call, should never lose their life to a police officer. A police officer is there to serve the public. Deadly force. I know this for a fact. Deadly force is only given when no other choice. You got mild force, excessive force, lethal force, deadly force. Tony. So I mean, let's stop the mess. Police officers, these new police officers coming on here, I hope they ain't trigger happy. Because it's gonna be a lot of innocent people gonna get killed. In the process of trying to, I hope the training was right. I hope Chief Brackney brought somebody in to train these jokers. Because our training here sucks. If you got the same people doing the same thing, you get the same damn results. If you got the same people who've been training the same way for 30 to 40 to 50 years, you're going to get the same damn results. Bottom goddamn line. You're going to get the same results, resident. So stop playing with it. Let's stop playing with that. Let's call that out for what it is. Not for what it could be or what it should be, but for actually what it is. And what is it? Injustice off the rip. Injustice for you, the resident. It's injustice for you, the resident. And I'm not feeling that. Ever. Because it's your tax dollars that makes this happen. Police officers get paid from your tax dollars. Because they're supposed to protect the public. They ain't got no business bothering you. They ain't got the police officers ain't got no business bothering you. They ain't got no business bothering you. They're there to protect them criminals from committing crime out there in the public. It's a crime. Enforce the statutes of the city limits. See, the police is like you going into a king's kingdom, and the police is like the armed guards. They're standing at they're standing the post. They're protecting the city. Well, come in here with that mess. Don't come in here with that mess. Check your swords right here. Pick up your sword and your shield when you leave. And go about your business. Go about your business. That's what it is. That's their rules. Ain't got no reason to bother you. If you follow the statutes of that city, police ain't got no reason to bother you. Your tag is on your car, right? Police ain't got no reason to bother you. Like I said, you following their statutes. That's what their rules are. What the rules are. You know what the rules are? Police ain't got no business bothering you. Because they're going to follow their procedures. You're going to follow the rules of the city. And that's their job, is to enforce the rules. That's their procedure, is to enforce the rules, which is the law. Law is just interchangeable. Number 8, rules. It's rules. You can't walk around here thinking you just can't be touched. You got some subject, divine osmosis. You're exempted from being, you in the city. If you want to not be touched, stay out the city. Because you come into the city, you're going to have to follow the rules. That's what police are for. Make sure you follow the rules. If you follow the rules, they ain't got nothing. The only thing you say, how you doing, sir? How you doing, ma'am? Have a good day. All this other stuff, somebody a manager call them, say, look, man, somebody's stealing outside my store. Say, yeah, I got the person, I've already got them apprehended and everything, boom, 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 because we got our own private security here. They already got them apprehended and everything. All the police need to do is go and come and arrest them. If they see them going outside, they ain't got nothing to do. If them sons are just leaving the premises, what can they do? The folks at Walmart ain't losing no bread, because I wouldn't give a ding dong if she had a trunk full of groceries. Walmart ain't losing no money. That type of stuff is insured. They gonna get their bread back. All they gotta do is file a claim, and that bread will come right back to them. As much food and stuff that they throw away. They gotta have 4 or 5 dumpsters in the back because they throwing away stuff. Even they throw away good stuff. They got to lock their dumpsters and stuff up because you got folks sitting out there. You got homeless folks sitting out there at Walmart waiting for them to throw away some food because they hungry, or throw away some type of products or something that they could sell or something like that. I'm telling you, they assured. Allegedly, if she stole a box of Pampers or not, that ain't worth nobody's life, bro. That ain't worth nobody's life. Get it together. Walmart was every right to try to shut that Walmart down. Hope they did shut it down. That police officer, yeah, he might be on administrative leave. Yeah, he might be. Yeah, that's what allegedly they said he is. And they wondering why he was fucking it, because it was talking about it. It was talking about why I think it was in a council meeting or something. Yeah, that why the officer wasn't fired. It was on administrative leave pending investigation. How long is that investigation? Like, goes back to what I was saying before. Nah, I ain't feeling that, resident. I'm not feeling that. So it's gonna be some changes here in Jackson, cause T. Brackney ain't feeling it. Yo, she ain't feeling it. She not feeling it. That T. Brackney ain't feeling it, yo. She cut from a whole nother cloth. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. She gonna implement some changes. She gonna implement some changes in these police officers' training. I agree with Councilman Stokes about sensitivity, because there ought to be some type of sensitivity training inside those police officers. I'm not saying that there isn't, but it's not enough. Because if you get the same training you had 30 years ago, you're gonna do the same goddamn thing 30 years ago. Some gonna be worse than the other. Somebody gonna intensify the rules, or gonna intensify the rules. Some of them gonna slack off of them. I'm telling you, they need to change that. They need to either change the training or implement some things inside the training, or extend the training. So, but yeah. So, but anyway, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. You know what I'm saying? Happy Friday. I hope you have a very good weekend. And don't go out here because it's Friday and be belligerent. Because that behavior don't work. You know what I'm saying? Stay intelligent. Stay informed. And most of all, stay encouraged. Until Monday.